Isso.
Sim. Ele chega a ficar por causa da moto, exato. Good morning.
Good morning.
So yesterday, as you saw on the footage, it bucketed down, and so we were forced to spend the night in, what's it called? Harrogate,
Yeah.
which was a pleasant surprise. Any of you guys that are traveling to or from or towards Scotland or whatever, you have to come to this town. It's amazing. It's really, really beautiful. I was very, very surprised. So we came into the Conan Hotel. I'm not really sure how you pronounce that, but it's probably that, Conan Hotel. And not bad. It wasn't expensive. £60, £62.
Yeah, with breakfast. Very nice breakfast.
Yeah,
Continental.
so it's not bad. Nice accommodation, enough for two bikers. Yesterday was actually quite a treat. So we went to have dinner at the Old Bell pub. Not bad, fish and chips, not bad, quite nice. And then we went to a pub. They were hosting a quiz, and a couple approached us
and started helping us out with the questions, because obviously we are not from around, and they were older, so it was very nice. They started to talk with us and actually paid us the whole...
Yeah, a couple of pints, about 3 pints, I think, something like that. And they were talking to us about York. They said we have to go to York, it is mandatory. And so right now we're going to go to York. Sorry for the truck over the distance. We were waiting to see if it would go away, but the guy says he was going to take about 20 minutes. And the weather seems like it's going to get worse, so we're just going to head on to York. So, see you in a while. We're heading to York, then after York, Scotland.
Edinburgh. Wait, shit. Era.
25 miles to York and 225 miles to Scotland. Only the weather can decide today's outcome. Will we have a great day of riding or another forced overnight stay? One thing is for sure, if it's anything like Harrogate, I won't mind at all. Before we set on to York, let's just take a ride around Harrogate, ensuring we document this beautiful town for future memory. As we learnt yesterday, Harrogate has been famous for the last 500 years for its healing waters. Rich in iron, sulfur and salt, they are known to do miracles on the human body and bring tourists from all around the UK. So if you're travelling around this neck of the woods, be sure to pop in for a visit.
How are you? Thank you. Bye. Thank you. This was a nice coincidence.
With the rain on and off since we landed in the UK, we can only hope for a pleasant day towards Edinburgh. Although we are in our leather jackets and Gore-Tex trousers, there's only so much water they can handle before getting completely drenched. Let's just cross our fingers and hope for the best today. Leaving Harrogate with only a short 25-mile ride to go before our next stop, it really feels great to be back on our bikes again, which after all is what this journey is all about. This may sound rather cliché, but when on the start of what is planned to be a long motorcycle ride, it's just ever so true. On a motorcycle, it's never about the destination, it's all about the ride. That sweet sensation of freedom, feeling the wind in your face and the aromas in the air, is all what makes riding motorcycles so gratifying and much different than travelling by car. I say this many times and I'll say it again. Take me anywhere in the world, just let me ride my bike all the way. With the weather just about hanging on as we arrive in York, we are immediately greeted by astonishing medieval buildings.
Try to, go. Maybe,
Moving towards the city centre, swivelling around traffic, at a distance we can see a huge cathedral-like building that will then be our first visiting point. So far so good. It seems like our decision to detour to York was actually going to pay off after all. We have absolutely no knowledge of York, so everything is new to us and looking very, very promising.
Go. Yep. I think around, right around.
With our destination point just under our noses, it's time to find ourselves a practical parking spot and start our on-foot exploration. And just as well, judging by the sky above us, I'm guessing we just managed to dodge a spot of rain.
And we sure did. British weather.
Built on the site of the first Roman settlement, York Minster Cathedral owes its origins from the 7th century when a small wooden church was first erected in this very same location. Given place to various stone churches over 600 years, this building as we know it today started construction in the 13th century and took nearly 250 years to build. Seat to the Archbishop of York, which is the second most important position of the Church of England, the York Minster is therefore one of the most important Christian cult buildings of the UK. The huge window contains over 100,000 pieces of glass, making it the world's largest middle-age stained glass. With 128 windows, the York Minster boasts the largest collection of medieval glass in the world. On the lower crypt floor, you can see the remains of the original Roman fort from 2,000 years ago, and also the tombs of important English people. This floor also has a marvellous exhibition of found artifacts from all the previous restorations and reconstructions, backed up by historical images and documents. The wooden choir is just as impressive as the rest of the cathedral itself. The large wooden structure at the back is in fact the humongous organ with its just over 5,000 pipes. The pulpit, which is the elevated platform where a speaker talks, along with the magnificent wooden carvings, were all restored back in the 1830s due to a fire that was intently lit. In this wall we can see the stone carvings of 15 of the kings of England from William I to Henry VI. And once more, another view of that fabulous York Minster organ. Along one of the corridors, we can also see the marble tombs of former archbishops of York. With a dedicated police force, the York Minster is always well guarded as to ensure no more acts of vandalism occur against this great sacred monument. The chapter house, where large meetings would take place, also boasts fantastic medieval stained glass and fine dome ceilings. Now heading towards the central tower, we will have the opportunity to check out the views of the city.
Tower of York Minster, 275 steps, great morning workout. Let's check out the vistas and see if it was worth the while.
With just over 200,000 inhabitants, York was founded in 71 AD and became the capital of the Roman province of Britannia Inferiore, and later the kingdoms of Deira, Northumbria and Jorvik that actually has an exhibition we will see later on today.
And what comes up must go down. So another 273 or 2 steps down. How's it going, George? Having a good time? Okay.
No, it's easy. Sort of, because of my boots.
Yeah. I would argue that we're better in shorts and some trainers. Oh, that was tight fit. There we go. Okay, first section done. Now second section. How's it going, George?
So beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the Z1000 you can see down there. I understand you. I understand.
Today, a major railway network and confectionery manufacturing centre, York maintains great stature well into the 21st century. After checking out some of the street performers, it was well past noon and more than time for lunch. With a vast choice of restaurants, we decided to pop in a local pub where the beer comes straight from the tap. Cheers! After a great lunch washed down by Harrogate's local beer, we set out to give the streets of York another go before heading on to Scotland. We were quite amazed to find a quaint little store entitled The Shop That Must Not Be Named, that all you Harry Potter fans may know, and had queues almost a mile long. Not really our cup of tea actually, so we headed on to the Jorvik Center for more knowledge of York's past. The Jorvik exhibition was actually quite unexpected. Hovering over the floor in little carriages equipped with speakers, the tour takes you through a recreation of Jorvik, the village of York back in the Viking days. The articulated mannequins, all dressed up in their traditional Viking clothing, all go about their daily lives, which would include all kinds of trades. Fantastically realistic. There are those whom criticize the exhibition for its Disney-like pop-up view of history, but we quite enjoyed it, and I'm guessing it's a more fun way for kids to also appreciate a bit of local history without having to read more books. Well worth a visit. We'll let this video run for a while longer.
This leatherwork seems to be having a problem selling his shoe pieces today, and looks like he has Viking disease, a Dupuytren's contraction. You can see it's caused the fingers on his hand to become bald. It's a genetic disorder that runs in families, and seen particularly in middle-aged men. Traditionally,
Good deal,
it
Herman.
originated with the Vikings who spread it throughout northern Europe and beyond as they travelled and intermarried. This couple here are arguing about what to have for supper, meat or fish. It would seem that life hasn't changed too much over the last 1,000 years. They're arguing in Old Norse. If you listen carefully, you can hear Old English, Middle Welsh and Old Irish all being spoken in the street. Here's a food seller trying to sell this wealthy-looking meal cabbage of some sort. It doesn't look like the type of thing that would tempt their hungry. This woman looks like she's struggling to cross the road. We only found 2 complete skeletons in the excavation site, and this one is first in the woman. You can see that she's walking with a crutch due to her hip problems and arthritis. At this time, there was a priest registering last night. He would always have worn a stone necklace in the same We found a very small silk in one of the buildings. The embroidered crossing animal utensils to provide meat and other things. Evidence of Catholics to be held the name itself, the smell. As well as supplying meat, Catholics have also provided home and home. This year, the clergy joined as they removed human waste, as well as noodles, which was a type of Viking-aged toilet paper. This material doesn't look too good to be restored, so perhaps we had a new one quickly.
With as much of York as we could possibly fit in half a day, the clock was already ticking past 4 o'clock and we still had 225 miles to go. So like this gentleman, we also prayed to St. Peter for good weather as we hit the road on our way to Scotland. Tagging along the motorway at decent speeds, we did, however, have a few sights to pass by before today's destination. With a wrong turn here and a wrong turn there, time flew by and we decided to ditch the day's plans and rode directly to our next stop, which at this time, unfortunately, was not going to be Scotland once again. Newcastle was a good enough stop as any other, so we decided to book a hotel for the evening and ride into Scotland right the next morning. With the sun setting down to give way to the moon, we arrived in Newcastle just before the day started to get chilly. A short ride into the heart of the city and we finally arrived at a hotel that would provide us warmth and shelter for the night.
Here we are actually loading, yeah, put it there. Okay, I have a Starbucks over there, so I will drink some coffee tomorrow for sure. This one has breakfast? Don't remember. Este tem pequeno almoço.
Find out how check-in is and see where the parking is, but I will get this over there. Okay, we'll back in a minute. It's probably over there.
Now all that was left was to find a more private parking space for the bikes, unpack our minute luggage bags and find a half-decent spot for dinner and to give you the last review of the day.
I would like to say that we're in Scotland. So we passed the whole day basically in York, Get